Hey, man, Jeff Collins has changed the culture of that UNC defense. Huddle up.
You don't want none! You don't want none!
Ready, break. What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ, the Tar Heel. And in this huddle, baby, we're going to talk about Jeff Collins and the obvious, in my personal opinion, culture change that we witnessed on that North Carolina defense. Now, obviously, we are less than 24 hours removed from that 19-17 war up in Minneapolis, where the North Carolina Tar Heels were able to stomp out the Gophers. And we need to think and talk about the state of this defense. We'll talk about the offense in a later video, but I want to talk about the state of this defense. Now, disclaimer, Minnesota is not the greatest show on turf. I understand that. And yes, Darius Taylor missed the football game with an injury. Okay, but I want you to put this into perspective, Tar Heel Nation. 244 yards of total offense and 17 points. That's what the UNC defense allowed. 166 yards passing and 78 yards rushing. Not to mention that seven of those points, they were given up on a short field after the Max Johnson interception that was returned back to the 7-8 yard line. Obviously, would you like the stinking guys to bow up? Would you like them to hold them to a field goal attempt? Yes, but we're still going to put a little asterisk beside those 7 points given the circumstances. Then you've played your butt off. You go into the half 14-7 down. You come out, right? A little pep talk. You force consecutive 3-and-outs. I think the defense might have played like 6 or 7 snaps in the third quarter due to the long drives by the offense and the defense getting off the field. And by doing that, you enable a beleaguered offense to creep back into the football game. Hell, you even handed them 3 points with the fumble in plus territory. And then you inevitably hold that Minnesota offense to 3 points in the second half. Man, that is huge. That's huge, man. And I know what the naysayers, the guys that would try to counter this argument about a culture change, hey, watch out for the defense, they'll say, well, they did that against South Carolina last year in week 1, and look what happened. They allowed 37 points per game against Power 5 in the last 6 games of the season. Heck, you guys have probably heard me say that. My counter now would be this. Yes, the Gamecocks rushed for -2 yards for the game in that football game. But guess what? We all know how bad that offensive line was. It was terrible. And we can't forget that South Carolina still passed for 350-plus yards in that football game. This Minnesota offensive line returned 4 or 5 starters, and one of them is an NFL talent guy out there at one of the tackle positions. 5 sacks. 5, right? 3 sacks from Jahvaree Ritzie. 1, 2, 3 with 3 TFLs. Who in the world turned that guy back into a dog, man? Shout out to Jahvaree Ritzie, man, for answering the bell. Tar Heel Nation is proud of you, bro. I see you, big fella. That's the Monachino effect. That's the Jeff Collins effect. That's allowing that kid to play free. It is a culture change on the defense. Kamen, a sack, 2 TFLs, par for the course. Amari with a club on his hand, playing old school football, a sack, and a TFL. How about the safeties coming downhill, getting in the box as extra defenders to help with run support, man? How about a defensive coordinator that understands his opponent, what they're trying to do, and what needs to be done to stop them? Man, that's what I saw from Jeff Collins yesterday. That's what I saw. Minnesota wants to run the football. They want to lean on you. 78 yards rushing. 78 yards rushing. And here's the real difference between those 2 football games. The South Carolina game from last year and the Minnesota game from this year. And I want you to think, we're talking about purely from a defensive growth perspective. Last year, neutral site, right? Carolina had Drake May with 269 yards, 2 touchdowns, 437 yards of total offense. And the offense Back then, in 2023, they gave that defense 31 points. 31 points. This 2024 season, 105 yards passing between two quarterbacks, 252 yards of total offense, and 19 points. And remember, the defense gave them stinking basically 3. That's what I call answering the damn bell, baby. That's what I call holding the line. And so I think that we can look at this game. We can look at Coach Collins, calm and collected on the sideline as Minnesota's going through that last drive, and we can feel comfortable about where this defense is heading. I don't say this lightly. I think Jeff Collins has changed the culture of the UNC defense, right? And if we can just get this offense to be serviceable, man, we can win some football games. A lot of football games that last year we couldn't win because we didn't have a defense. We didn't have the culture. We didn't have the framework, the mindset, the intelligence sometimes, it seems like, to stop the run. And when I see something as simple, you say, man, that is the most simple take of all time. Football is a fairly simple game. Run fits, right? Everybody's got your assignment, and this is like 101 football. Stop the damn run. You run the damn ball, and you stop the damn run. And you know what? What better can you do? 78 rushing yards for a team that wants to stinking lean on you. So me personally, man, I think we actually saw a little bit of that culture change. Now look, these are not Jeff Collins recruits, okay? And so we'll have to look and see how, this philosophy, right, how it, is accepted, if you will, long term. But I think that the guy that we got in place, you can at least see it in week 1, man. This is legit, a legit Russ the Tar Heel personal take, okay? There is a different standard. There's a different standard about how we play defense, right? And there's concepts, okay, that you're going to do so that we can be successful. And that's what I saw from Jeff Collins, man, and it gets me really excited about the defense. Like I said, we'll talk about the offense separately, but I just wanted to give a huge shout out to guys like Javari, to guys like Amari playing stinking basically injured, and to the defensive coordinator, Jeff Collins, for only giving up 244 yards of total offense and 17 total points, man. It was a beautiful thing to see, especially from a guy like me who fiends for the days where Carolina had an above average to great defense. So let me know what you think about this down in the comment section, Tar Heel Nation. Is your boy onto something, or am I up there in the nosebleeds, have no idea what I'm talking about? If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and we will catch you on the next one, Tar Heel Nation.
I'm a Tar Heel!